This is Bryce Van Patten from Metal Express Radio Backstage, and today my guest is the phenomenal guitarist Gus G of Firewind, formerly of Dream Evil and Ozzy Osbourne, just to name a couple. And he's here today to talk about Firewind's 20th anniversary live video slash album titled Still Raging Live at the Principal. Now, before the interview, I just want to remind everybody to help grow our channel. If you like the interviews and everything we bring to you, please like, subscribe, and click that notification button. And here we go. How are you doing today, Gus?
I'm fine. I just got back from the beach. Yeah, it was a fairly good day. So yeah, I went. I drove down to the beach. We live by the beach here. I live in Thessaloniki in Greece, and like some of the best waters we have, like just like 30 minutes drive from here. So we went down there, took a quick swim, and then came back. So it was good.
Awesome. Where is that in Greece? I went to in 1986. I was lucky enough to go to Greece, and I went spent some time on Crete, and
Okay.
also basically just Athens. We took a
Yeah.
we took the ferry from Brindisi, Italy,
Yes.
and
Brindisi. Yeah.
it was really great there. So where exactly are you?
Well, Thessaloniki is in the mainland. It's not an island. It's the mainland, and it's up north. Um, so it's like the second biggest city. Athens is the capital, and Thessaloniki is like the second city. But still, it's by the water. It's a beautiful city. We have it is by there's a small kind of like a, what do you call it? Like it's a port here, so it's a port entry. So we are by the water, and so like within like a 30-40 minutes drive from here, there's like some amazing resorts and a very big touristy place. And there's like the three peninsulas right outside Thessaloniki, and we are kind of spoiled because everybody can just drive there for the weekends, or you can just go there every day, drive for like 30 minutes, swim, and then come back.
Yeah,
So
it sounds amazing.
it's a nice place to live for sure. Yeah.
So, if somebody was new to Firewind and hadn't heard of you guys before, and you had to explain the band in an elevator pitch, what would you say?
Oh wow. I mean, I think we're just I look at ourselves as just like a melodic heavy metal band. So if somebody would ask me, well, what do you sound like? I would probably give them examples like the classic bands, like think of Iron Maiden, think of Judas Priest, think of all that stuff, or maybe even Halloween. If anybody would even like, if somebody had no idea about heavy metal, I would just name drop bands like that, and I would say we're just a band along those lines with cool guitar. So good vocals, cool guitar riffs, lots of solos, and that's how we describe it. Yeah.
Right, melodic singing as opposed to other forms of heavy metal.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would give them examples of like Maiden, Priest, Scorpions, like along the classic bands. But obviously with our own more modern touch, I would say. I don't know. Yeah,
That
it's not like we're
exactly
reinventing the wheel or anything. But yeah,
right.
we're just like a couple of generations younger from those guys and doing that kind of version of metal.
Right. Your version of that kind of thing, of course.
Yeah.
So, how does it feel that Firewind has been doing this for over 20 years? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that it's been 20 years since the debut album came out. More than 20 years now, actually. Um, I mean, it's a blessing, because I've seen a lot of things happen the past 20 years, and being in the business for 20 years, I've seen a lot of people come and go in labels, label managers, A&R people, PR people. Um, I don't know, you name it. Like bands quitting, bands, new scenes emerging. Like we haven't been around for that long, but still 20 years is a good amount of time. So we've
Absolutely.
seen, yeah. So we've seen some things happen, and I always say that, I have respect for anybody who can keep it going for over a decade. It's not easy to be in a band. It's not easy to get along with so many other people, and not only that, and make the whole thing work on an organizational level. and on the business level because it's just an expensive music is just an expensive hobby. That's what I say.
Right. Plus, you're still
uh,
holding true to that concept from when you started, right?
Really,
That's a
there's
challenge,
no other way to go.
right?
The way that I see it, like because we've thought about these things before as well, and I always think, well, if you're gonna follow a certain trend in music and what's happening, because everything goes in circles. Music,
Exactly.
and music also influences fashion, and you see fashion, how fashion changes and it makes circles, and things that were popular in the 80s they are popular again now, and then maybe next year it's very 90s, and so, and it's the same in music. It starts from music and art, I think.
Hmm.
So by the time you start following a certain trend, and by the time you establish your own sound and style and do that, it's probably already over. So you might as well stick to your guns, do what you love, do what you do best. Like when we started out, it wasn't cool to do guitar solos still, early
Yeah,
2000s.
I was just going to say that real quick. When I was introduced to you when I got a issue of Sweden Rock magazine with a sampler disc, and it had the Book of Heavy Metal on it, and I was like,
Right.
holy crap, these guys are awesome. So I immediately got your disc. But at that time, that's when like bands were saying, "Oh, nobody does lead guitar anymore," at least in America. And then
In America, yeah.
I was so refreshed that when I heard European and, not in America metal, and still had all the amazing guitar work like what you guys do.
Yeah. Like back in 2001, 2002, when we first came out, like I knew like right away Japan loved us because they
Hmm.
always liked heavy metal that had a good guitar playing in there and
Yeah.
melodies and a certain technical ability. So we did well in Japan, in certain pockets in Europe, but nothing in America. And
Right.
then, like, I think there was a scene coming out of Sweden, and I was a little bit part of that with Dream Evil. But I think I'm talking more about bands like In Flames and Arch Enemy, and in the
Right.
Finnish metal scene, like Children of Bodom, and those bands. They started playing tours like Ozfest in America,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of the American kids caught up to the European sound, and all of a sudden guitar solos became a thing. And then you would see publications like Guitar World and those magazines talking about the younger generation of shredders, and so there you go. That thing made a comeback. So, and then America had their version of that Scandinavian scene, like with, I don't know, a metalcore that emerged in the
Yeah.
late 2000s, like Killswitch Engage and those bands.
Hmm.
And I remember that. I remember that very well. I was there like when it was happening at Ozfest 2005. I was touring there with Arch Enemy, so I would see what was going on, and those bands like Trivium came up, and those are the bands of today, basically. They carry the torch into today, and
Yeah.
so you never know. That's what I'm saying. Like you just keep doing what you're doing, and um, I think that's the only way to go, really. I don't know. Eventually, somebody will notice, somebody will like it, and you don't have to be everybody's darling. You don't have to be flavor of the month, and
Yeah,
you don't have to be.
you don't have to be everything to everybody.
No, no, man. Like what matters is that you have your own fan base who supports you, and that will carry you through. That will probably give you the longevity that you want or you hope for.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
Look at
reading
that.
like even recently. I've been reading like because I had like all this press with when I joined Ozzy like 10, 12 years ago.
Right.
And then like, I wasn't the flavor of the month anymore, after a couple of years. And then, the media moves to another person, all that. And then I kind of like see all these because I've been doing press lately, and I see some stories ending up on reproduced to from bigger media. And I've been reading some comments. People are like, wow, like that guy dropped off the radar or something. And like, not really. Maybe for some media, but I've always done what I was doing. So
Yeah.
nothing has changed for me. Like we still play the festival circuit, we still do records, we still play for our fans. So we still do what we always did. So nothing has changed for us, really.
So Still Raging is the Firewind's second live album, but it's the first live album with the new singer Herbie Langhans. Can you talk a little bit about Herbie and what he brings to the band?
Actually, it's a third live album.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I'm sorry.
It's the second DVD or Blu-ray, actually, first
Oh,
Blu-ray.
okay.
We did a DVD in 2008 called Live Premonition.
Oh,
Then in
I missed
2000,
that one.
yeah, that was like, and then 2012 we did like a thing for the 10th anniversary of the band, which was just like a live album called Apotheosis. And now this is the third live recording.
Okay, okay.
And second and
Curses
sec
Metal Archives.
yeah. No, it's all good, man. So I mean, yeah, and this is like yeah, with a new guy, which is Herbie. He's been at the band for about 3, 4 years now.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, he brought a really cool energy to the band. And it's really good to have him on board. Uh, he's helping with a lot of things. You know, he's a good. He has a lot of input in songwriting nowadays as well, which is nice. Um, and yeah, he brings a certain energy on stage and off stage. He's a very positive guy, easy to get along with. And I think it was just that adrenaline shot that the band needed towards the end of 2019. So yeah, I mean, he's an exceptional singer.
Definitely, definitely. So, Still Raging was shot in Greece with a hometown crowd. Can
Yeah.
you talk a little bit how the whole thing came together with the video shoot and everything?
Yeah. We weren't planning to record or film. We just had those. We had two shows planned for. It was fall 2022. We were going to do one hometown show and one show in Athens,
Hmm.
and then the same film crew that did the live premonition like 15 years ago.
Hmm.
Excuse me. The same guys. They gave me a call and said, we can send our like mobile van down there with a whole film crew, and we can just set up and film it again if you like.
Oh, wow.
Originally, I thought that's a little bit ridiculous. I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? Like this, film the same thing, same venue, like 15 years later. And then I thought that's kind of cool, actually, to like, 15 years fast forward, and this is where we are, and we're celebrating 20 years, and we have a bigger catalog than what we had, obviously,
Hmm.
15 years ago. We were a
Definitely.
very young band then. And then I saw all the cool things about it, and I said, yeah, let's do it. And anyway, so we end up with this footage, and it looks good, of course, and it sounds good. The band played well that night. And then I started thinking, well, what are we gonna do? I was thinking, like, does anybody even look at DVDs anymore? Does what's happening? Because every this was like also after pandemic, where everybody was doing the live streaming concerts
Right.
and the subscription thing, and I was like, well, it's kind of late for us. Since we didn't organize it as a to sell tickets online, it was too late for that.
Right.
I thought about just putting the whole thing up on YouTube, and then I thought maybe we can do something better than that. We put a couple of songs on my YouTube channel, and then people started commenting and just messaging us and being like, "When is the DVD coming out? When is your?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." So maybe at least our fans are maybe expecting to get something that they can hold in their hands out of this.
Yeah, that trophy that really is kind of what bands need is fans
Yeah,
not just stream a few songs, but you know what I mean, but actually pick
right.
something up to say, "Hey, I support these guys."
Yes. And I thought, since it's like an anniversary thing, maybe we should try and put something out, even if it's like some kind of a limited edition. So I started talking to AFM Records, our label, and I said, look, we got this. We can do this. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, because I don't know if this would even make sense. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And I said, sometimes these things do way better than you think they do because of the nature of it.
Hmm.
Because there's not many live albums out there today, not many DVDs in the market, especially like this thing being a commemorative release. Uh, it's almost like a best stuff but played live.
Right.
So they said, let's do a Blu-ray plus double audio CD. So that's where we're at now. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, it's great. I watched the concert on video and really great. I like the fact that it gives us the song name and then references what album it came from, which is cool. So it lets fans know, you know.
Yes, yes, that was a director's idea. When he was editing, I said, "Why are you putting all these titles?" He said, "No." I said, "Let people. You never know who discovers you or who watches this from this. So let them know where this is coming from, because you know your albums. Maybe your diehard fans know, but not everybody knows you've had
Right.
9 albums. So let them discover this. I'm like, and then I thought, okay, smart idea.
Right, right. Because I hear a song and I go, wait, I haven't heard this one before, but it says what album it's on. So now I can literally just look that up
Yep.
and chase that down the studio version of it. So
Yep.
so I thought that was a great idea. Uh,
That was a yeah, that was the thought behind it. Yeah, so I'm glad we did it.
yeah, yeah, it works. It works. So one thing from watching the concert, I was totally blown away by your drummer. So
Yeah,
man, that guy has
Joe
a
is
lot of
great.
energy. Can you talk a little bit about Joe?
Yeah, Joe is he's a beast, man. He's an incredible drummer. He
Not
joined
in,
us like he joined us in 2011. So he's been in the band for 12 years now.
yeah,
He's always been the young boy, but now he's getting a when he came when he joined the band he was a boy. Now he's a man.
yeah,
And Joe, we kind of like grew together. He came from a death metal background. He was playing with one of my older bands, Night Rage, and but I think he grew a lot more into the melodic stuff and classic rock and hard rock. So he has developed his skills and he started playing very differently throughout the years. And at some point, I had him also play with me when I started my solo band, and so he got a lot of the experience uh, with me as a solo artist, and also, of course, with Firewind. So we've grown together, and he's an incredible player, incredible.
yeah. He really plays well off of the riffs and just he's just like a machine. So
Yeah, yeah. Like me and Joe, we lock in very well together, and especially the last couple of years, we started. We used to be uh, very old school. Like we used to be the band that just turned up and put everything up to 10 and just played so loud and everything with no backing tracks or anything. And then when Bob left the band, we decided to continue as a four-piece. So we programmed our sets again, our live show to a click track.
right.
And I started doing that with my solo band prior to bringing that thing into Firewind world. And I really enjoyed playing to a click track live. I really, really enjoyed that because it made everything so much tighter.
Yeah, you
And
there's no wiggle room, and
yeah,
the
I mean,
arrangements are going to be identical every night.
yes, yes. And because we wanted to really, I don't want to say choreograph, but kind of like that. We wanted to yeah, choreograph our show. We wanted to make sure that everything is very specific and program lights according to that and just take everything to the next level. Because once you go into a click and you go into like in-ear monitor world and you go into those kind of things, you can do amazing things nowadays with technology. You can program special effects, lights, visual. You can do the whole thing now, which is you can give a much better visual show to your fans, to the audience. And so I'm all up for that. And plus, I love playing with a click on stage now because it feels like it's in my ears. I hear the click very loud because it's almost like practicing it as, and I love playing very tight. Like I want to make sure every note is there. And I think actually that comes off on the Blu-ray. Like the band is playing really tight together. We don't really miss a beat. I mean, there's some mistakes here and there which we left on there because we wanted it to be real. Um, but it's a tight band, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
proud of that.
I didn't hear any mistakes
Well, small things that probably I don't know.
that you
Uh,
know, right, right. But
yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
cool thing I mean I noticed right away that you had harmony guitars at times and a keyboard part that was
A
coming
couple of
very
things.
small.
Yeah, I mean,
And it wasn't
with
everywhere, and a lot of time it was just the four guys. But
yes,
you have a couple songs with those kind of Iron Maidenish harmonies. You know what I mean? And it
yes,
really
yes.
brings things out. And
Yeah, for example, like
I could tell you were playing to yourself because it was you're so locked in on your vibrato and everything.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for example, like there's a couple of parts like that we used to do like in unison with a keyboard, like the intro of the song "Mercenary Man." That's like a 20-second intro. I mean,
Yeah,
it's okay. I'm playing together with the keyboard that's pre-recorded, so it's okay. Like for certain parts here and there. to me, that's fine. It just enhances the show. It's, if we're not a playback band, like, and it has happened sometimes where the playback machine or something, where Joe, like, he's been so animated where he just hits his
Pops out of his
headphone
ear.
out. Yeah, he just stops the song, and we're a band that we can play without this, anyways, because we really have, and all the keyboards that we've replaced, basically, it's just here and there some chords.
Yeah, yeah, it's not constant.
I've taken on all the keyboard solos myself now, which were a few anyways before, even before.
Yeah,
And I remember that was the thing that also Bob, he wanted to be more guitar player on stage rather than keyboard player.
yeah,
Um, so it really hasn't changed all that much, to be honest with you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I saw his earbud cord on his back, Joe, when he was playing, and I knew anyway because I heard the parts, and I know it's in the old days, like when I saw Ozzy with Randy Rhoads, and there was keyboards and no one on stage, there was a guy backstage. But with today's
Right.
technology, it's so great to just have the backing tracks or use Main Stage or whatever program you guys use for it. But it's super cool, and I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I think if it's at a point where it kind of like enhances your show, and it's cool. And that's what we use it for.
Yeah, I saw Halloween about 12 years ago at a little place in Seattle, and yeah, the drummer had a laptop right there, and even
Look,
in a little club,
this stuff has been going on for decades. It's nothing new, really.
no, from the 70s,
Yeah.
all the way back. It's just it's better now. It's just better
Yes.
technology.
Yeah.
So, you did drop a video already, Mercenary Man. Are there more videos coming out soon?
We did like three. We put out three songs so far.
Oh, is there three out? Okay.
We did Maniac, we did Mercenary Man, and we did what's the other one? Orbital Sunrise. That was the first single. So we put out a couple, two or three songs to get people, to show people what this show is about, what this DVD is about. It's Blu-ray, sorry.
Right, right.
And I mean, now we're like 2 weeks before the release, so I think we're gonna put out one more on the day that the Blu-ray comes out, and off we go. Then it's out there.
Yeah, a lot of bands that I've talked to recently are have kind of a theory that they only want to stream maybe the same songs that have videos so that people will have an incentive to buy the record. Have you ever thought of that approach? In other words, like on the
Sorry,
streaming
because now,
services, like on the streaming services, they're only releasing the same songs that they've already released to social media.
yeah,
So
I mean
that like if
nowadays,
you want those other songs, you're going to need to buy the record or download, pay for the download. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean nowadays, look, if you put out a song and there's no visual to it, it's almost like if it didn't come out.
Yeah,
We live in a very visual world, because everybody has a phone with instant access to YouTube, to everything. So if somebody wants to check out how something sounds like, they also check it out with their eyes, not only their ears.
exactly.
I mean, in our case, now we're putting out a live album. So
Right.
releasing the song just on Spotify, it's the same thing when we put out a studio record. When you put out just a single out, just the audio. I mean, unless you're like, I don't know, a really huge band, AC/DC or whoever. But for
Yeah.
the rest of us, I mean, even they will do it like that. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Guns N' Roses dropped a new song now, and
yeah.
it came together with a video. That's how it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense. I mean, I was given the video to review and all the audio tracks, and I watched the video. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
there we
Because
go.
if I could sit and listen to it, or I could watch you guys,
You watched the whole concert?
I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
I did. Yeah, through Dustin, he gave me a link to watch it. So
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
because I
So
just dropped the
of course you're gonna watch the whole thing. Why listen and then watch it?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
point.
yeah. No, I just the review just dropped on Metal Express Radio. So um
Oh, cool. I'm gonna check it out. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, loved it. So what does 2023 have in store for Firewind, and is there any touring coming to the United States?
Yeah. Well, 2023, we are just finalizing all the details for the new studio album.
Oh, great. That was one of my
As a ma
requests.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we're putting this live album now, and then I think later in the fall we are gonna start releasing some new music, maybe a single or two with videos. so, so the idea is to release the new album early 24 and start touring again. So like the touring for this year is gonna wind down. We have only a couple of festivals. We're doing something in Germany this weekend, and then we have next week we have a couple of things in Greece here. We're playing a couple of headline shows. We have one more in uh, Switzerland at the end of September, but that's it for this year. But yeah, speaking of the States, we are working on a spring tour right now, spring 2024. Um, it's being worked on as we speak. So, and it's going to be a really cool package with another killer band. So, I can't reveal more info, but I'm waiting to get the final dates and all the info, and hopefully we'll be able to announce in the coming weeks.
Yeah, that'll be great. I live on the West Coast. I'm just in Vancouver, Washington, just north of Portland, Oregon. So I'm hoping you guys make it out here.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be passing through. Yeah.
That would be fantastic. One last thing I was going to ask you during the video, I saw you. One of the songs you have this really cool guitar that has a bit of a built-in light show and smoke, and I was immediately reminded of Ace Frehley.
My
Um,
Ace Frehley guitar.
Kiss,
Yeah.
Kiss when I saw Kiss live on the Love Gun tour, and of course you had all the smoke and the lights and everything coming out of the Les Paul, and I saw your guitar, and first I didn't know. I saw that white block at the top of the headstock where the nut is, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that bizarre thing? And then when the lights came on, I saw it like shooting light on your fingers, and oh,
Yeah.
tell me about that guitar a little bit.
Yeah. That's just a customized guitar that this kid from Germany made. He I basically sent him one of my signature Jackson guitars,
Uh
and I
huh.
said to him, "Do what you got to do to it. Like dissect it and put on your equipment on there." So he developed this patent where the guitar kind of like shoots lasers. As he has like a circuit that goes across the fretboard, and then it shoots lasers. And then when you put your fingers over the lasers, it looks like the lasers are following your
Yeah.
fingers, whatever you do on the fretboard. And then he took out the neck pickup, and he has some kind of construction under the guitar and at the back of the guitar, uh, which basically is like a thing with a tube and a little jar there where you put glycerin on there, and then
Yeah.
it runs on a battery. And basically, what happens is that when you turn it on, it vapes, and he has some
Yeah.
lights on it, so it looks like the guitar is on fire.
Right.
And it's a perfect thing for a guy like me because my band is called Firewind, and
Yeah.
one of our songs is an instrumental, which is called The Fire and the Fury. It's like a shredding guitar thing. So it just looks really cool when I bring that out for that song. And I remember
Absolutely.
we did a tour with Dragon Force last year, and a lot of the audience was just young kids that were gamers, like 20-year-old kids, and they obviously didn't know who Ace Frehley was. Um, they didn't even know who I was, so they were just like when I came out with that guitar, I would hear people like scream at that point when that smoke came out of the guitar. You would hear the audience roar like, oh my God, what is this?"
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they thought it was
That's
like some
awesome.
kind of magic.
Yeah, yeah, I saw Dragon Force last year. They're fantastic guys, fantastic band.
Yeah,
Now that
yeah,
would be
yeah,
a
they're
great
great.
tour. Is there anything that we missed? I know we're running out of time. Did you want to do a shout out or anything else you want to say about the new album or anything we didn't talk about, Gus?
No, man, it's I want to thank to everybody. I want to thank everybody for the support all these years. I hope they can check out the new Blu-ray release. If you're new to the band, maybe it's also a cool thing to check out because you don't know where to start from. There you have it, like a best of the band performed live. And thank you for the interview and for having me back.
Yeah, and thank you. And the new album, Firewind, still raging on video, Blu-ray, CD. Excellent show, and everybody needs to do themselves a favor, pick it up, and I think they can still pre-order it even before the.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
directly through AFM Records.
Yeah, but you can also pre-order on Amazon or
Oh yeah,
wherever, all the big retailers online. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Well, thanks again, Gus. Look forward to the
Thank
next
you.
thing. Can't wait for the new studio album, and have an awesome day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
If you like the content we bring you about the heavy metal world, please like, subscribe, and comment to help us grow the channel.